Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael Camo. I'm Director of Content for T3 Live, and I brought my good friend, Sami Abusaad, because he's going to share his magic with all of us. So everybody, say hi in the chat. Let us know where in the world you are from. We already have Louis saying, eager to hear what Sami has to say. VRL says, the GOAT. Lots of hello. So let us know where you're watching from. Good to see everybody. We hope we have a big crowd out there today. Okay, so disclosures. Everybody memorize what's on the screen. We expect everyone to recite this word for word at the end of the presentation. So yeah, it looks like we have a nice crowd here. We have Florida, Chicago. Yes, we have the two OGs. Okay, so we're going to start with a question. And so we definitely want this to be interactive. So make sure you guys are active in the chat. So I want to ask you guys, before we get started, what is the hardest thing about picking stocks? Let us know in the chat. What is the absolute hardest thing about picking stocks? Because we think we are going to have some solutions for you. So make sure you're in a quiet place, shut down all your other apps and stuff. The internet is about to die and you don't need to contribute to that. So we want you to focus on what's happening right here. So why we're here, and this is related to why I asked you what your biggest trading challenge was. So we pretty much know there are three things big that are going on with a lot of traders. First thing is you're trading at random. You don't have a system. This is kind of what I do, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't do it like Sami, but yeah, we always hear from traders. They feel like they don't have a system. Also, people always feel like they're getting left behind, like the train left the station without them. And worst thing is your trading is an expensive hobby instead of a profit center. You know, and if your trading's not going well, not only is it expensive, it's stressful. But the good news is we can fix this. And yeah, V Wolf, who I assume is our German friend, says 100% no system. And Joe agrees. Okay, so stick around. We have a special offer later on, but we will get to that. So Sami is our Director of Education. He's been a pro trader since 2007. He runs our Pristine Mentorship Program, the Pristine Act Trader VTF, the #1 newsletter. And he's an expert in basically all kinds of trading. And fun fact, he is a former certified public accountant, which also makes him the most organized and diligent trader I've ever met in my life. Now, why we listen to Sami? So I'm going to read this from Tom from Calgary. Sami is both a great trader and a great coach. Not only can Sami do, but he's also a fantastic teacher. And he also makes some amazing calls. I don't know if you guys remember last year, he predicted Tesla 400 and he predicted Bitcoin going to 1,000. So he actually called the bottom in Tesla under 140, then predicted 400. And I didn't include it, but 2 weeks ago, Sami told me to sell my Tesla stock, which I have deep regrets on. Also, Sami's an amazing teacher. People pay up to $6,000 to work with him. He's had students from all around the world. Many of them have flown from other places to the United States multiple times to work with Sami. And before we get started, quick reality check. Trading is risky. You can lose money. Despite what you heard on TikTok today, it is risky. So the big things we're going to focus on are why you must stop watching the news, Sami's pillars for success, and how you can become an expert stock picker. So we're going to go over kind of the pillars of Sami's success as I see them, because I'm seeing them from the outside. So Sami does things that I think are unusual sometimes. So I kind of want to pick his brain and get to the heart of it. Okay, so Sami, I know one of the biggest things we go over and over all the time is you don't care about the news. Why don't you care about the news?
Because the stock market is the greatest discounting mechanism in the world. And so the moment the news is out, it's immediately factored into the price of the stock. So why would I want to care about something that's already factored, that's already baked in? Why would I want to care about it? Now you might say, well, yeah, but I'm smarter than everybody else. I can really read between the lines, maybe. And if you are that kind of specialist, then sure, you should focus on the news, trading the news. But for the majority of us, even former CPAs that were professionally trained to read financial statements and read the financial news, are not really equipped to use the news for trading, for short-term trading. Now, if you say, I want to know the news because I'm a long-term investor and news reports and financial reports are important to me, then sure. But if you're a short-term trader, I mean, come on, you're not faster than the HFTs. You're not going to get that information. Also, you're not going to be the first one to get it. There's direct wires, Bloomberg wires that people pay tens and tens of thousands of dollars for, and they're getting the news before us. We don't really need the news. In fact, most of the time, it distorts our thinking. I've said this like a dozen times over the course of my career, where I was about to take a play, I was maybe in a play, and somebody mentioned the news, posted the news in my room, and then it distorted my thinking, made me get out of it, or made me not take the play. And I mean, like I said, maybe a dozen times over the last 10 years or so, I found myself saying, I wish I did not read that news because I probably would still be in the play, or I probably would have taken it. So it's truly the news, mostly for the most part, is a disadvantage. It puts you at a disadvantage, not an advantage. That's my 2 cents. A lot of you might agree with me or disagree with me. That's fine, but that's my 2 cents.
Okay, yeah, we are going to go over a lot of examples that fit this theme, because a lot of times Sami is buying when everybody else is freaking out. So, for example, you can see on the screen, on June 2nd, Sami literally said, forget the news, stocks are going up. And this is when we were getting tons of confusing trade headlines. We're having, war in the Middle East. And Sami said, no, we're going to record highs. Maybe my favorite example is, do you guys remember when United Health collapsed on that Medicare scandal? Sami says, don't care. There's a daily climactic buy set up, and it went up about $40 in 2 days. Miracle. Okay, so Sami, I want to talk about this. Another related topic is, I've noticed that you pick a lot of awful companies that look awful, that look terrible, and we'll go over from examples. But could you talk a little bit about why, you're not worried about the past so much?
By the way, where did you get that picture of me? I look pretty good in that picture.
This is courtesy of ChatGPT. I was looking for a happy garbage man.
Oh wow! That's pretty good. I wish I looked like that. Okay, yeah. Mike calls me the garbage man because I play what he considers to be garbage companies, garbage stocks. And so, what was the question, Mike? By the way, I forgot.
Okay, so I mean, why are you not worried about how good the company is?
Because I can tell based on the chart. I can tell if it's in good shape or if it's in trouble based on the chart. If I read the report that's 2-3 months old, even if it's a week old, that's not as reliable to me as looking at the chart, which reflects all available information at this very moment. So that's all I care about.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, so I want to go through some examples. So this is because a lot of these goofy stocks, I don't know where Sami comes up with them. So this Avino silver and gold mines went from 271 to 349, 29% in a couple of weeks. Groupon, another one, went from 26 to 31 in a couple of weeks. Adaptive Biotechnology. So this is like one of the worst biotech stocks of all time. It went down over 95% after the pandemic, but Sami spots there's a breakout on the monthly chart, and it goes from 921 to 1173, 27% gain in like a month. Okay, now I want to talk about shorting. So it seems like a lot of people have trouble shorting. What can you say to people that have trouble pulling the trigger on shorts?
read the chart. I mean, it's either it's going up the hill, or downhill. I mean, it doesn't matter. Up, down, doesn't matter. Just read the chart. Be objective. I don't know why I would have, like, I've never had that issue where I would hesitate to play short or play long, because to me it's like it's the same image but flipped. So if you know how to read the buy setup or a breakout or whatever pattern you like to trade, the W pattern, then the M pattern is going to be the inverse, the exact opposite of the W pattern, right? A breakdown is going to be the exact opposite of a breakout. So I don't understand, honestly. I wish I did, because then I would understand my students better, why some people have some kind of a blockage, some kind of they can only play one side or the other. So I don't understand it, to tell you the truth.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so I'm just going to go through a couple examples. So another one, SunCar Technology Group. This one definitely sounds like garbage, because it sounds like EVs and solar at the same time, so it's probably terrible. Yeah, so this went from 479 to 291, 39% gain. Xerox went from 774 all the way down to 416. Now I want to get into more of something a little bit deeper. Now, Sami, I know we love these hated stocks with these sort of big picture trend changes on the monthly charts. Now, why do you love these so much? What is it about these monthly transitions that you like so much?
Because to me, our job is to be good windsurfers, or to be good surfers. So there's a wave, right? There's a wave, and I want to ride the wave as soon as it starts to curl up. I don't want to be riding the wave when it's at the top, right? I don't want to be getting on it right at the top. I want to be riding the wave as soon as we start to move up. So to me, that's the place to get it. If you want to get it and maximize your reward to risk, that's where I want to get it, where that arrow that's pointing up is. That's why I like that pattern so much. It's basically stocks moving waves, like waves in the ocean. And so try to jump on the wave as soon as that curl starts to build up.
Okay, yeah, I want to go through some examples of these. Oh yeah, because garbage is definitely themed. So Twilio, this is a classic example of a 2020 to 2021 growth story. It fell 85%. Then the breakout came, and Sami's making 62%, 116%. Disney, this one makes me angry because I sold it like right before you announced it in the newsletter. It was down 54% off the highs. I sold it like an idiot. Sami announces the buy, and before we know it, it's up 22%. Lyft was a big mess since it went public. Got the monthly transition A buy set up, 24% gain. And this is live, SF guy. So I'm going to put your message on the screen. This is absolutely live. Neil, I cannot believe you said this. Neil, you better stick around because you're going to love something I put in the offer just for you. Neil, I swear on my life, there's something you're going to love later on. Another one, VNet, 90% off the highs, monthly transition A breakout, 163% gain in a month. And it goes on and on. Affirm. This was a massive, massive short squeeze to the upside. Sami took 51%. DocuSign, another one. 2020 to 21 darling. The breakout, 42% profit. ARC, another one. Another monster, gigantic home run for Sami. He made 16% and 20%, and he's had other ones along the way. Sibanye Stillwater, this is one of the craziest ones I've seen, but it was a miner that they had strikes in South Africa. They cut the dividend. They pulled their guidance, everything, but Sami likes the chart. 59% gain in the span of a couple of months. So, Sami.
Yes.
My phone thought I was talking to it. But if you could describe your trading style in your own words. Like, how would you do it?
How would I do it? I don't know, Mike. You probably could describe it better than I could.
Oh yeah, okay, all right. All right. If you're going to put me on the spot, I think of Sami's style as being the harsh truth, because Sami will tell me something, and I will have objections. I'll be like, "Oh, but do you see?" Like with Disney, it's like, "But do you see Star Wars is falling apart? The Marvel box office movie numbers are terrible," and Sami's like, "Don't care. The chart is the chart." Even he made a big call on Tesla when Tim Walz was out knocking the stock. Sami made a big announcement. He had 2,500 shares of Tesla. It went up like 50 or $60. So I
truly did, by the way. I truly did have 2,500 shares of Tesla.
Yeah, the best thing about Sami's trading style that makes it the most fun. I don't even know if most fun is the right way to put it, but it seems like the most efficient, because you actually don't have to watch the news. You can follow the charts, and that will cover everything for you. So we're going to throw out a question to the audience. So do you want to learn this approach to stock picking and trading? Type yes or no in the chat. And don't be afraid to type no. We like honesty here, because Sami is a brutally honest guy when it comes to trading. So just type this yes or no in the chat. Okay, we're getting some yeses from KR, from Linda, from our German friend V Wolf, Dave, Bob, Kevin, Ashish. Okay, all right. So I want you to pay close attention here, because in the past couple of years, most of Sami's live teaching has been his mentorship, which is $6,000. This is much, much more accessible. It's even less than $5,000. So pay attention. So we want you guys to say hello to Elite Swing Profits. And our friend who was talking about the sixth sense before, you're going to laugh. So what is it? So it's a live 3-hour crash course in Sami's swing trading system. It's Saturday, July 26th at 10 a.m. Eastern time, where he's going to go over his patterns. He's going to teach you his entire system, all his money-making swing trading techniques. So there's no more buying because you have a feeling, which is what I do like an idiot, and you get all your questions answered by a top pro swing trader. And the reason people love it is it's clear, simple rules anyone can follow. So again, there's no guessing, there's no hoping, there's no feeling, because you want to be part of the smart money that's finding those huge winners before they hit the 52-week high list. Because remember, Sami talked about before about how he likes when those stocks like curl up like this. And I think the best way to put Sami's system is he wants to get you in right here, right before it goes there. So if you want to learn that, you should definitely think about joining this today.
If you want to be a curler,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, a curler that picks up garbage. And also, you learn how to short, so you can actually make gains. So when the market was collapsing in March and April, you can actually make money during that time. And also, again, of course, the added bonus, you can turn off the news if you want. Because we talk, it's funny because like Sami is often buying stocks when they have this really bad news. He doesn't even know what the news is most of the time. But the signal is there. And when people like me are freaking out, Sami's taking advantage of us, which when I think about now, I'm very, very offended by it. Like there's like the affirmed short squeeze. Everybody was talking smack about the stock, about how the rate situation was going to ruin them. They were going out of business. Then boom, it's up 51%. Or again, UNH. Everybody was dumping UNH. People were predicting United Health was going to go out of business because of this Medicare scandal. And Sami said, nope, daily climactic buy setup. Now, you're wondering why we call this ESP, because you're going to develop a sixth sense for picking stocks. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but Sami can scan over 160 charts per minute. That's how fast the system is. It's once you get to know it, it's a blink and you get it. And when we were talking about a sixth sense, you can be like Karen from Mean Girls because she actually developed a fifth sense. So VRL is asking a question. What is Elite Swing Profits Live? It's a live class. That's why we put the word live on it. Okay, so who's it for? So obviously, people who want to become better stock pickers, people who want to save time when trading, and people, most importantly, who want simple rules to follow so they don't have to waste all day and night looking at charts and reading those. So also, we're including 3 months of Sami's #1 newsletter. So this is his #1 idea every morning. And the focus is on stocks and ETFs making major transition. And again, constant theme with Sami, crystal clear entry and exit instructions, zero guessing. He gives you the entry, the stop. Now, does anybody want to guess what was Sami's #1 idea this morning? Type the ticker down in the chat. Type the ticker in the chat if you think you can guess Sami's #1 idea this morning. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't Bitcoin. It was actually Ethereum, ETHE. So he called it 2187 was the entry, and it went up to almost 24 today.
I should have called the leveraged ETHU.
Yeah, Sami, you really messed up.
I did.
We're gonna get a lot of complaints. Sami did not call the leveraged ETF. So #1s also give you live portfolio updates with Sami twice a month. So you get updates on the ideas. You can see what's on Sami's radar. You can ask him any question you want. And Sami has always operated as an open book. So any question you want to ask him about the market and trading strategies, anything, you absolutely can ask him. You also get earnings plays, which is Sami's buy and sell list for stocks reporting earnings. Those will be coming out in the next few weeks because the banks start reporting earnings soon. And then the floodgates open. So it's like a bonus subscription for free. Also, we're going to give you Sami's earnings engine course so you can learn the earnings method. It's a $295 value bonus. Also, we're going to give you T3's options in plain English home study course where you learn 14 actionable option strategies. It's a $295 value, also included absolutely free. And most important, and Sami hates me for this because I forced him to do this. I blackmailed him. He's teaching a live class on trading psychology on August 7th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. And the recording is included if you can't make it. It is only for people who join ESP. Sami normally only teaches this at the $6,000 mentorship, but he is teaching it to you if you take today's offer. So we're going to add it up. So $395 value for the Elite Swing Profits live class, $399 value for #1s, and $295 value each for the classes. And on top of that, the psychology lesson with Sami. So if you want to sign up right now, you can go to t3live.com/ESP, t3live.com/ESP. t3live.com/ESP. You save $1,085 right now. It's only $299 to learn Sami's entire system. So what happens after 3 months? You get billed at $399 a quarter if you stay on with #1s. You can cancel anytime with an email. No annoying phone call required. We're not one of those companies. Set a goal. How much do you want to make? Do you want to make 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 10 million? I don't know. If you don't hit it, just cancel. Again, I think we are the best company in the industry at this in letting people cancel with absolutely no hassles. So this is what people are saying about Sami. So Amy from North Carolina said Sami's a true market professional and an excellent instructor as well. He's knowledgeable, thorough, and honest. 10 out of 10 rating, says Steve from New York. We're having some font issues. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, long and short trades that Sami provided were right on target to make money. Made me more confident in bringing trade ideas to me daily. That saves me time from researching every night. Josh from New Jersey said, I've only been a member for 1 month. I've already recouped the annual cost of mentorship. Sammy's earning plays do make me money. I do not need any other trades during earnings season. Randall says, subscribe to Sammy for a year. Paid for my subscription on the first day with the earnings plays overnight. And of course, Tom from Calgary, Sammy is simply the best trader I've met. Plus he can teach. So again, add it up. $395 plus $399 plus $295 plus $295. It's a $1,384 total value. And it is just $299 for you at t3live.com/ESP, t3live.com/ESP. And you can learn from Sammy live. And I want to thank our good friend Juan for being the first person to join up. So let's get those questions rolling in. So I saw, hold on, guys. Yeah. So get your questions in the chat. Okay. So Sasha's saying, what if we already have number ones? We will extend your mentorship, not mentorship, your membership. We will just add another 3 months onto your subscription if you sign up. Also, Sasha saying sessions recorded international, so time zone's not great. So all of our educational classes that are live, we always record them. In fact, we found that 40% of people who buy our live courses actually just use the recording. Not everybody makes the live session. Some people also have to leave early. So everything is recorded. So you do not have to worry about that. Okay, Sammy, here's a question from Beatrice. What if no one else is trading the stock or very few traders are trading the stock? So I guess this is more a question about volume. So what are you looking for in terms of volume when you're looking at stocks?
So I basically only trade things that are liquid, that bare minimum do about 500,000 shares per day on average. But most of the trades that I take do millions per day, not thousands. So liquidity is not going to be a problem. If you're doing 20,000 shares a pop, per trade, then it might be a problem. You might want to break it down into smaller lots. But if you're like the average trader out there that's doing a couple hundred, couple thousand shares, it shouldn't be a problem at all, honestly.
Okay. I'm getting a question. Okay. Approximately how many stocks are currently in the portfolio? We don't really consider it that, but right now, okay, so today this is the newsletter, how it looks. This is the way we track it, just so you guys can see. There were 2 new ideas today. I believe Ethereum was the only one that triggered, and right now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
9.
There are currently 9 trades going right now, including the ADPT, which we talked about before. That's been one of the best names of the year. Okay. Let's see what other questions we have.
And that's a good average, about 10 to 12 symbols open at any given time. We just closed out of the SBSW, that gold stock. We just closed out of Donut, which is DNUT, which is Krispy Kreme donut short. So it's a good mix of stocks. Most of the time, if the market is bullish, most of the plays will be long. And if the market is bearish, most of the plays, or I would say half the plays, will be short. But the vast majority of my plays are long only, not short. The vast majority. I'm scanning, by the way. What do you think I'm doing? I forgot I could do it while doing until you said Sammy can scan. I was like, oh yeah, I could be scanning for tomorrow. So I'm actually scanning right now.
Okay.
Finding good plays.
Yeah, I want to thank Vilma and Darcy for joining up. So Larry's saying this is for a 3-month membership of the daily number one. That's included in the package. So you get a whole quarter of number ones. It's included in the package, and we made the price low enough. So basically, no matter which part of the pie, piece of the pie you want, it works out for everybody. Okay, so our friend Alex is asking, do weekly candles factor in your analysis? We know you use the monthlies. Do you use weeklies?
Yeah, I use the hourly, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. The hourly is just for timing. So if the hourly looks good, then I know the timing is good. But I focus on the daily, the weekly, the monthly for finding the pattern. The hourly, like I said, it just gives me the timing. But most of the time, my plays come off the daily, weekly, or monthly. Sometimes the best plays have good charts across all time frames. But those are the four main time frames that I use: hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly.
Okay. NJ is asking, do you use Trend Spider for scanning? So Sami, you still use TC2000, I assume?
Yeah, of course. I do. That's what I mean. I use it every weekend to download a list of all US common stocks that trade over 500,000 shares in volume and over 2,500, over 500,000 shares in volume, over $1 in stock. And the list comes out to about 2,500 stocks. And that's what I scan every weekend. Just so you know, TC2, I was the one that suggested to TC2000 about a decade or more ago to separate the ADRs from the US stocks. And several months later, after I made that suggestion, they emailed me and said, that has been done. Go here and you will see that it's been done. So in the past, they used to combine ADRs with the US stocks. And I don't like to trade ADRs that much because they gap. They're very gappy from day to day because they follow the overseas markets. And when they open in the US, they just open at where they closed overseas. So it bugged me that they mixed US common stocks with ADRs, and I made that suggestion, and I never got a response until a few months later. They sent me an email and they said, this has been done. Go here, click on this, and you'll see that it's been. I was like, wow. So that was at least like a decade or so ago.
Okay. I want to thank Sasha for joining up. We look forward to hosting you in the live class. Again, guys, t3live.com/ESP. So Linda's asking, Sami, when you state short and long, are you speaking of options? So Sami, you're just trading stocks and ETFs, correct?
Yes, I'm trading the actual stock. I'm not doing the options.
Yeah, Sami does a great job of finding these stocks that really move fast, but lots of people that follow his ideas, they use calls and puts on his ideas all the time. So that's totally fair. Okay, David Bruin is asking, how much money do you need to start training? Okay, I would say at the very least, a few $1,000s. Start small. I mean, this package is more about learning. But if you're going to start training, you probably need a few $1,000s at least. And if you can't afford your credit card bill, you shouldn't be trading, stuff like that. So please be smart. So Sami, quickly, are you looking at Tesla because it's a bad stock now?
Not if it's so. Here's the thing. When Mike said I look at bad stocks or bad companies, it's true, but it's not exactly true. I'm just looking at stocks that collapsed and that are currently starting to curl up. So if you look at Tesla, I mean, it ain't curling, that's for sure. It doesn't look good at all. It's very, very sloppy. So no, Tesla, because it's got bad news about it every single minute maybe, doesn't mean I'm buying it. I'm only buying it if the chart looks good, and the chart for Tesla right now does not look good. The location is pretty good for a long-term entry. The location is good on the monthly chart, but the pattern is not very good at the moment at all.
It kind of looks like a leaky bucket to me, which I don't think that's an official pattern, but it looks like it actually looks like it's bleeding.
Yes, it's got that leaky gut syndrome.
Yeah, that is a good way to put it. We're going to have to update the pristine method to include that. Okay, guys, do you have any more questions for Sami? Any more questions? Pop them in the chat.
Not done scanning yet. Go for it.
Yeah, Sami. Okay, so Sami, so how fast are you actually scanning right now?
So when I'm using TC2000, I'm going 3 charts per second. because that's what I love about TC2000. I actually don't like their charts that much because they don't have a border around the candles, so they don't stand out. So I don't like the charts that much. But what I love about TC2000 is the speed at which you can go through the charts. So the moment the platform downloads the symbols, you can go as fast as you want, and the chart will load. So I'm probably going about 3 per second, at least 3, maybe 4. But when I'm scanning on multiple time frames, and once after I scan on TC2000, then that list that I come up with, I look at it on multiple time frames, on the hourly, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly. And so that takes me more time because I'm looking at multiple time frames. So I would say, like, let's just time it and see how long it takes. So I'm just gonna, when I count on the count of 3, I'm gonna look at a chart, see how long it takes. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 1 per second maybe, or so, probably, but not 3 or 4 per second. So that's mostly because I'm looking at multiple charts, but also because the platform is not as fast as TC2000.
Sami, you might want to get like 2 computers with 2 keyboards, and then you can do like one with each hand. Okay.
If I had eyes that could move independently of each other, then yes, that would work.
Okay, all right. Our friend Michael M is saying, can you go over the pricing and the number ones once more? Okay, so included in the bundle is 3 months of Sami's number ones newsletter. So you get his number one idea every single morning with the entry and exit and all that stuff. And today it was ETHE. You also get portfolio updates twice a week. So it's like video coaching with Sami, where you ask him questions and you can have him help you with whatever you want. It also includes earnings plays, and and then there's the other bonuses. So again, guys, add it up. So it's a $1,384 total value, $395 value for the live class with Sami. That's where you learn the entire system. $399 value for a quarter of the number one's idea. So every day you get Sami's favorite idea, plus you get the earnings engine class. You get the options in plain English home study. So if you want to learn how to trade options, that class is absolutely amazing. It teaches you 14 different strategies, and then you can go wild on Sami's ideas. And of course, there's the bonus psychology lesson with Sami, which I think is amazing because he's only taught that in his $6,000 mentorship. And you get everything for $299 at t3live.com/ESP. Okay, so we have some questions from Dave Ross. How do you set risk limit and trade size for each trade?
How do I set it? It's based on the chart. So basically, sometimes I find trades that look really good, but they don't have enough of a reward to risk ratio. So I figure out where my entry is, I figure out what my stop is and what my target is. And based on that, I can calculate, or, the Google sheet that I use automatically calculates the R to R, the reward to risk. And so it's based on the entry, stop, and target. So it's pretty easy. So that's how I do it. I have to figure out the target. Sometimes the play is at all-time high, like Bitcoin, which I talked about just yesterday on the Benzinga show that I was on. I said it looks really good. It's basing. So what's the target for Bitcoin? If you were to ask me, what's the target for Bitcoin? It's at all-time high. There's no way I'm going to be able to come up with a random target. Because in order for me to come up with a target, I have to look for reference points for prior resistance levels. So if Bitcoin is at all-time high, what's the target on this breakout? There's no target. So it just needs to be managed. The play needs to be managed. So I wouldn't be able to calculate the R to R. But if I thought it didn't have enough power to move up a lot, then I would say that's probably going to pop a little bit and then come back in. So I wouldn't take it. But in the case of Bitcoin, it looks pretty good. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, they all look good. All the major coins look good. I don't think they look as pretty or as clean as Bitcoin and Ethereum. But, it's the tide that lifts all boats. So when crypto goes, they all go up with it. When Bitcoin goes up, everything goes up with it. So from a risk to reward perspective, I like probably Ethereum the most, but Bitcoin looks pretty good too. But that was the call today, is on Ethereum, and I in the additional ideas I put out XRP also, or the XRP, which is the leverage ETF for XRP. And I talked about them in the pre-market today, XRP, Solana, or right at the open, that they all looked pretty good higher. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, and Sami, that was based on the chart, because when we see this, the big green candle on the screen, that was right after the Fed meeting minutes. But you did this all based on the chart, correct?
100%. I honestly, I did not know we had the minutes today until somebody in the room in the pre-market mentioned that we had the minutes today. I mean, I'm not that smart to say, well, the minutes are coming out today, I think this is what's going to happen with the market. I don't even go there. Even if I thought I was able to do it, I don't even go there, because I'm just setting myself up for disappointment. I'm setting myself up to fail. So I just look at the chart. If the chart says, yeah, I'm ready, hop on, then I try to, find a good entry with a reasonable stop. And then I calculate the target, the R to R, based on the target. So that's how I do it. On the ETHE, my target is $30. I picked $30 as the target. The entry is at 21.87. The stop is at 19.74. So it's about a $2 stop, slightly more. It's at $2.13, and then the target is over $8. So it gives me a reward to risk of 4-to-1, which is pretty good. The SBSW, which we just did, got a reward. Got to target, which was $8, and I think that made 6+ Rs, or reward to risk units. And then I think the donut, which we also closed out of last week, made 5-to-1 reward to risk. So those were the two most recent plays. The donut made 5-to-1, and then the SBSW I think made 6-to-1, maybe slightly more than 6.
Okay. Ryan is asking, will the call on the 26th be recorded for those who can't be there? Like, yes, absolutely. All the live stuff is always recorded, because not everybody can make it. So you could sign up, and we will email you when the recording is ready. It will probably be ready the next day. So guys, t3live.com/ESP, t3live.com/ESP. You can join for just $2.99. Dominic is asking, Sami, do you have a favorite time of year for trading, or do you favor a specific month?
Yes, I do. So here's the way I break down my whole year. There's 4 earnings seasons, and each one of them lasts about 6 weeks. Now, the heart of earnings season lasts maybe 3 weeks, 2 weeks, but each earnings season lasts about 6 weeks. And so the first one starts in mid-January and goes through the end of February. So there's 6 weeks. Then mid-April to third week of April, I would say, to the end of May. And then mid-July through the end of August. And the last 2 are my favorite. And then mid-October through the end of November. So the July to August and the October through November are my favorite 2 months, 2 6-week periods of the year, for swing trading, for day trading, for trading earnings, every type of trading. Those are my 4 favorite periods. And then it's more specifically mid-July through mid-August, through the end of August, and then mid-October through the end of November. So that's coming up, actually. What's the date today? July 9th. So it's coming up. So I'm excited. Should be all smiles about it.
Yeah, earnings season with Sami is always absolutely party time, and you will get Sami's earnings plays if you join this offer. We will also include Sami's earnings plays, which comes with the number one newsletter. So again, guys, t3live.com/ESP, t3live.com/ESP. You get all the amazing stuff on the screen.
And they get the earnings engine home study, which teaches you how I pick earnings plays, how I figure out which companies to buy or sell, to buy or short ahead of earnings. is a little bit risky because you can never be sure. But I buy or short a basket of stocks, and in the aggregate, it makes money. But I can't be 100% sure about every single play. But as a batch of trades, yes, I feel, most of the time 100% sure about them. So that's included in the offer as well.
Yeah. If you Sami, like you definitely want to party with Sami during an earnings season, because like sometimes you just get this assault of new ideas. So again, guys, t3live.com/ESP. You could see all the details. To all the people who joined up already, thank you very much. We appreciate it. You are going to love learning with Sami.
Thank you. And it's an amazing deal. I mean, you get so much. You get, can you show that? Can you put that up, Mike, again?
Of
what
course.
They get?
I have the power. I can do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, you don't just get the newsletter for 3 months, right? You get the swing trading class, you get the earnings engine class, you get the psychology lesson also, I mean, for $2.99. So to me, it's a no-brainer, honestly.
Yeah, guys.
But I might be biased.
A little bit.
A little bit.
But that's okay. We're human. We have to figure ourselves. Okay, guys, thank you for coming out tonight. We know Sami has to get out of here. Again, t3live.com/ESP, t3live.com/ESP, and have a wonderful evening. We appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with us.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, everybody.